Alright, so the claim I'm responding to is that minimum wage increase to $15 an hour fails to improve economic conditions. My opponent's secondary claims are that many employers will be hurt by a rise in the minimum wage, increase in products that impact the people. The minimum wage increase is meant to help. Rents will go up, neglecting the people who minimum wage is meant to help. My responses are that my three claims are that increasing the minimum wage will not hinder businesses nor its employees. My second one is that increasing the minimum wage does not negatively impact rising prices or the people. And my third claim is that with inflation, increasing the minimum wage will not directly affect people or the means to pay rent. So with my first claim, I found, according to the Department of Labor, increasing the minimum wage has little to no effect on employment. In a letter to President Obama, the congressional leaders urging a minimum wage increase, more than 600 economists, including 7 Nobel Prize winners, wrote, "In recent years, there have been important developments in the academic literature on the effect of increases in the minimum wage on employment. With the weight of evidence now showing that increases in the minimum wage have led little to no effect on the employment of minimum wage workers, even during times of weakness in the labor market. Research suggests that minimum wage increase could have small stimulative effects on the economy as low-wage workers spend their additional earnings, raising demand on and job growth, and provide some help to the job front. So that will really affect employment, and also, like it just said, that the economy will be stimulated with job growth. In addition, small businesses, my opponent stated that small businesses can't afford to pay their employees the new minimum wage. I found, according to the Department of Labor as well, they stated that a July 2015 study found that 3 out of 5 of small business owners with employees support a gradual increase in the minimum wage. The survey reports that small business owners say an increase would immediately put more money in the pocket of low-wage workers, who will then spend money on things like housing, food, and gas. This will boost the demand for goods and services and help stimulate the economy and help create opportunities. For my second claim, I stated that increasing the minimum wage does not negatively impact rising prices or the people. My opponent stated that minimum wage earners are in the same place as before if the increase in products that impact the people and the minimum wage wage increase is meant to help. Also, she stated that prices will go up. So I'm debating back, stating that the increase in minimum wage will not affect rising prices. Also, according to the DOL, Department of Labor, while states have enacted rules in recent years triggering automatic increases in the minimum wages to help them keep up with inflation, the federal minimum wage does not operate in the same manner. An increase in federal minimum wage requires approval by Congress and the President. However, in his call to gradually increase the current federal minimum, President Obama has also called for it to adjust automatically with inflation. Eliminating the requirement of formal congressional action would likely reduce the amount of time between increases and better help low-income families keep up with rising prices. For my third claim, I'm saying that with inflation increasing, the minimum wage will not directly affect people and the means to pay rent. My opponent stated rents will go up, neglecting to help people who with minimum wage is meant to help. With support stating that people earning minimum wage can't afford rent. I'm stating that according to the Philadelphia Voice, they stated even if the minimum wage increases causes the prices of different kinds of goods to go up, may not go up by much. In 2004, the analysis of 20 different studies on the minimum wage, researchers concluded that most studies have found that 10% of the U.S. minimum wage increase raises food prices by no more than 4%, and the overall prices by no more than 0.4%. So pretty much with an increase in prices and rent and the increases in the minimum wage, it will adjust according to President Obama, who said that it will automatically adjust with the inflation. So it will be pretty much what we are today, although prices will go up and minimum wage will as well. So my conclusion is saying that raising the minimum wage will not create detrimental effects to the economy, employment, or the people. Moreover, it will be beneficial to the economy, creating employment opportunities and adjust the inflation. Thank you.
All right, Gabriel, you've got the proposition and the secondary claims of the advocate laid out pretty clearly, and then you've got your own structure for the speech. So they parallel one another, but I think it's probably unnecessary to preview your responses to each of those points. Why don't you just give us those points as you get to the points that you're reminding us of? It felt a little bit redundant, but it was relatively clear to follow. On the first point, there's not really any analysis of what the advocate's evidence was on this position. It's basically you've got rebuttal information that you're presenting a counterclaim on here, suggesting that it has very little impact, and I thought you did a pretty good job citing that information. The same thing with the small business issue. Although I don't remember exactly what the advocate's evidence was, it does seem like it applies to the point that they were presenting. On the second point, you kind of diminish the impact. It does suggest that there is some impact, but it wasn't very clear what the impact was, and your argument seems to be that the policy that's being proposed would make an adjustment for this anyway, so it wouldn't matter, which sounds to me like you're creating a cycle of inflation as opposed to something that is really denying the advocate's argument on that particular point. The third point, by the way, I thought you did label your point very clearly on the third point, and you also kind of explained what the advocate's argument was on this point. So that was one place where you did directly deal with the way they developed their issue. And then you, again, diminished it to some degree. I don't remember if they had any evidence that was specific to rents. Yours is talking about food prices, and then overall, I think that's probably where you want to go. It's 0.4%. So if an individual gets a 5% increase in their minimum wage and their housing costs increase 0.4%, they could probably afford it. I think that's the way you want to summarize that particular argument. All right, thank you.